Okay, so here we go with some more financial maths, and you can see on the screen there that we have this really cool formula. This is given in the formula book for all IB maths courses. Let me just take that off. Let me just undo that. Okay, so this formula here, and you probably know what it is: final value, present value, R is the rate of interest, K is the compounding periods, N is the number of years. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. We'll do the first thing, and I suppose for this then we just need to get stuck in and identify what the particular variables are. So this is to invest 10,000, so there's PV for 5 years, there's N, 6%, and there's R. Okay, calculate how much he has if interest is a simple. Oh, okay, so this is actually not compound interest, and we've got to bear in mind that this is the compound interest formula, compound interest, okay? And so we've got a bit of a trick question here, and this is actually simple interest. Now it's weird, simple interest just doesn't exist anymore because no one would even fall for it. Simple interest means I get 6% of 10,000 in the first year, and then I keep that same absolute amount every year. So let's just do part A first, okay? So you've got 10,000, I need to find 6%, so times by 0.06, okay? You can reach for your calculator if you want, or I can do it in your head. I'll just do it in the calculator. Okay, and in the first year you earn 600. What's SGD? Okay, you earn 600 to SGD. Now simple interest is a bit of a rip-off because what you do then is you do 600 and you times by 5 the number of years you have your investment for, and that means you've got 3,000 SGD. So that is a bit of a rip because the final amount therefore is 10,000 plus 3,000, which equals 13,000 SGD. And you pretty much know that that's not quite the way that interest rates work. If it was, then I think banks would be pretty much out of business because banks always pay compound interest. So once you earn the first year of interest, you put it into your bank account, and they get obviously interest on the extra savings you've got there. So let's have a look at the compounding formula. So compounded yearly. All right, so we're going to transfer across the formula. Oh, this is B, sorry. So final value equals present value into 1 plus R over K times 100, or 100K, to the K times by N. And so let's have a look. We've got PV. You can write this out, or I can substitute it straight in. It's up to you. 10,000. R equals 6%. K equals 1. It's compounded yearly, so it's just, once per year. And N equals the 5 years. Okay, so if you substitute all of that into the formula, you have final value is 10,000, open bracket, 1 plus 6 over K, well, 1 times 100, all to the exponent of K times by N, 1 times by 5. So this little bit at the top here, you should always identify it as, how many times are you going to get paid interest? And of course, if it's just once per year for 5 years, then it's 5 interest payments. So think of that as the how many interest payments you're going to receive. So therefore, let's just whip to the calculator, and we'll just type in exactly what we can see here. 10,000 times by open bracket 1 plus the magic button to get the fraction out, and this is 6 down arrow 100 times 1, which is 100, and then exponent, the little hat, and that's Kn, which is just 5. Boom. Okay. Interesting that it gives you the exact value. So the calculator's worked that out as actually as a fraction, which is okay, but it's not much good to us. So you press the up arrow, press enter to bring the calculation down, then you can press control enter, and you get these little in blue, these approximately equal to, and then it rounds it to a decimal. So if we write that down, let me just get rid of that pink. So the final value is 13,382.26. I think it makes sense to round to 2 decimal places. I mean, certainly that is how SGD works. I mean, most currencies around the world are 2DP, but there are a few that have 3DP. I lived in Oman for a while, and they had 1,000 bezas in 1 rial. 1 rial is kind of like $1. So yeah, that was 1,000. But you'd be okay if you round to 2 decimal places. It'd be absolutely fine. And then if you look at the comparison, then compounded yearly, is 13,382. Simple interest is just 13,000. So you can see there's a big extra to be had. Okay, and then let's have a look at part C, which is compounded monthly. So you can imagine that this should be a little bit more still. So the question comes, what if you compounded weekly, daily, by the hour, by the minute, by the second? Are you going to become a millionaire? Well, I think you probably understand that there is an upper limit to how much interest you're going to receive. So unfortunately, even if you keep compounding more and more and more, there is an upper limit to how much money you're going to earn. So unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But let's get on to this last part. And here's C, and for C, I'm actually just going to write the numbers straight into the formula. Okay, it's compounded monthly. All right, so I'm going to just put straight down. Final value is the initial value. Again, you can write everything out and take your time with it, no problem. 1 plus R is still 6. K is monthly, so that's 12 months in a year, 100. And then 12 times 5. So if you think about it, that top number there is going to be 60, isn't it? 12 times 5 is 60. You're going to get 60 interest payments over the course of 5 years. Okay, then we just go straight to the calculator. And a cool trick is that you press up, 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 press enter, and look, you've got everything entered in. All you have to go and do is just edit it. And we've got a 12 here, 12 times, and then up here, you've got a 5 times 12. Just check it before you press enter. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And wow, look at that. The calculator is so accurate, it's ridiculous. Look what it's doing there. That's amazing. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go back, bring it down, and then press Control Enter. All right, and we've got a particular answer now, which is 13,488.50. Okay, so if you think about the 3 values we've got here. Okay, the first one here was simple interest, which just really doesn't exist in today's age society, 13,000. The second one was compounded yearly, 13,382, and the final one was compounded monthly, 13,488. So you can see the extras that you're getting by the more compounding periods. Okay.